Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. Another cold one out here in the Pacific Northwest. We got our hoodie on, and we're just trying to get through this little cold front that is blowing through right now. Today, we're going to be talking about the unit everybody has been waiting for, Howlet, and how amazing he's going to be with Little Leela. Just kidding. We are going to talk about everything you need to know about him, and whether or not you should be pulling for him tomorrow. So I was kind of joking, but I wasn't really joking. Howlet is going to be absolutely disgusting paired with Little Leela. And, oh man, I mean, he was good when he came out in JP, and he's going to be even amazing if you pulled Little Leela. And, yeah, I mean, you're going to want him. There's really not much more to say than that. Review over, we're done, y'all can go home. 30 seconds into the video and we're all done. Y'all just came here for the Pacific Northwest weather anyway. Nah, well, I guess I'll do my job anyway. Maybe there's someone out there who wants to skip into the middle of the video, or maybe you guys want to watch this the whole way through. So let's start from the top. He is a wind element unit. The auto-translate has his name as Howlet. There is only one name, and it is Howlet. So please bear with the Google translation here. His primary job is Rune Knight, secondary job Red Mage and White Mage, primary weapon is Sword, and his armors are hat, clothes, and accessories. Can I just say, almost any male Red Mage unit is a frickin' sexy beast. His TMR ability, the Solio Coat, has HP 320, Defense 8, Spirit 8, and I think this TMR is grossly underestimated. And the reason I think that is I think this is very similar to Laswell's ability, which allows him to absorb one attack, essentially. While this is only physical evasion, it's pretty good. I mean, I could see this being amazing in live PvP. I could be, in PvE, I could see it being amazing in everything. While the buff is only for one turn, that one turn can save your ass. Or if you can manage to get his AI to pop it before he runs into the enemies, that's a great way to waste enemies' AP, or maybe even their primary ability like their LB or something else. Now, his mastery ability is the second appearance of Spirit Penetration in the game. He does get a native Spirit Penetration 20 for self, and an increase of magic 10% for self as well. He is weak to ice, however, he has 20% resistance to earth elements, so Zombie Ryu, Kilphe, get ready because you have met your match. His resistance is he has 5% resistance to slashing, he is weak to fist and missile, however he also has a 15% resistance to magic. While Little Leela was the Kilphe killer, Howlet is literally the second Kilphe killer. If you are running Kilphe right now, you should be panicking. Because let me tell you, her dominance in the meta is now over. His limit break is a 200% single target attack, which decreases wind resistance 38% for 3 turns to the target. Let's get into his stats though, because they are pretty juicy here. You can see he has almost 2300 HP, putting him at the 19th highest HP unit with an additional 130. Absolutely beautiful. However, what's really gross is his magic stat. You're seeing that right, everyone. He is number 1 for magic. He gets an additional magic 20% for himself, magic 10% for himself from his mastery ability and his board stats. That is going to give him, let's do math here, about an additional, hold on, I can do the math. What's 30% of 315? That's gonna be like 90, right? So that puts his magic at like 415, plus an additional 66 magic on top of that from his ability board. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. He is no doubt probably the highest magic unit in the game right now, and he will obliterate Kilphe, Zombie Ryu. All of y'all Earth units are dead now. Let's get into his passives. He has increased wind attack by 25 for himself, called Fierce Wind Runes. Decreases his ice resistance for 5%. Still amazing. I mean, that's pretty much a 25% modifier of his attack. any attack that he does, I mean, yeah, you're going to be setting that. Initial AP up level 1 is a beautiful ability, but he's so goddamn good, he doesn't even need it. Sharp Mind gives increases spirit penetration 40 for himself, so he has 60% spirit penetration and an additional accuracy plus 20. Yeah, he has null doom and 15% magic resistance as well. He doesn't need that to kill your damn kill phase. His reaction ability, magic conversion, probably the best one. It's basically like Sid's ability, except that it gives him AP when he takes magic damage. I can see the argument for magic closeout, which is basically magic reflex or regenerator, but he's not tanky enough that I could see regenerator. Although if you are putting him against mages, I guess he could be tanky enough. Maybe. I think for the most part, you're just going to be setting magic conversion and leaving it there. Oh God, I went the wrong way. You would think I would know how to do this by now. Let's talk about his primary abilities. You know, I'm actually, unpopular opinion, I think you're going to turn Arrow Sword and Tencho Sword off. You're going to leave Drain Evoke on, Hazard Slash, and Iraga Sword. Now, Drain Evoke is a magic plus 100% for 1 turn to self with insane range, and it gives you slash penetration up 40 for 1 turn to self. So what you do is you pop Drain Evoke, and then you do Hazard Slash, or you do Iraga Sword, and you just completely obliterate your opponent. If you're going up against a Kilphe, Iraga Sword gives you an additional 25x modifier against her. Congratulations. I think most of the time, though, his primary damaging ability is going to be Hazard Slash. Make sure you look at the modifiers for his abilities, though, guys, because these modifiers are based off of magic here. You can see on the left side, and you can see that Drain Evoke is a magic ability, while Hazard Slash is a wind and a slashing ability. So if you have access to wind plus modification, that's probably going to be the best way to go if you both want to maximize his Drain Evoke damage and focus in on that Hazard Slash damage as well. Otherwise, yeah. One other important note here is that I do think that popping Drain Evoke, he's essentially like a 2-kit killer, right? If you have something like his TMR or even Skahal's TMR on him, and you do like a 2-step buff, you could get an insane one-shot damage, right? So Skahal's TMR does 20% damage to yourself, if you guys remember from my video yesterday. Gives your unit plus 80% magic for 3 turns. Pop that ability, runs forward, uses Drain Evoke. He already has the magic 80% modification, right? So he gets that 100% magic modification now and slash resistance penetration up. He has spirit penetration, so he's going to do more damage from that. And then the following hit after that is going to be a 180x match modified attack. So with slash penetration, with spirit penetration, I mean, it's just sick. So make sure you build him right, and make sure you are like just prepared to die to Howlet. I don't think I would be setting Rune Knight Subjob. It gives him access to Hazard Spell, which is going to consume his own HP 10% and increase his magic by 50% for 3 turns to self. Pretty good. Wind Runes decreases wind resistance 38% for 3 turns to target. Honestly, you're probably going to be subbing one of his other amazing sub-jobs instead of this. However, important call out, though, is that this is going to be one of the only ways for him to self-buff besides using a TMR ability or a Drain Evoke. Keep that in mind. Taking a look at Sub Red Mage, he does get the jamming thrust, y'all. So maybe you just want to, you're feeling the Sub Red Mage and the jamming thrust. Do it. He's just gonna murder. Y'all have done the Red Mage rodeo by now many times. Turn off Aurora, turn off Esda, turn off Sleep. Cura and jamming thrust, keep it on. He'll obliterate. Sub Red Mage is very viable, and I'm gonna say probably you'll see him either Sub Red Mage or Sub White Mage. He does have access to Esuna, Cura, Protect, Raise, Shell, Curata, and Curaga. You're probably going to turn off Shell, Protect, and Raise. Keep the heals and Esuna on him. I don't know, though. Again, there's not really any good self-buffs here, right? We keep going back to, if you want him to self-buff, he has to use the TMR ability or he has to use Hazard Spell. So you really, if you don't have the TMR ability, you might be locked into using Rune Knight sub just to self-buff to get that damage off of Drain Evoke and off of whatever attack you're going to do. However, I think most people are going to have access to some type of TMR ability that'll boost magic. So you will be able to either, you know, sub Red Mage for Jamming Thrust, or maybe sub White Mage here. And honestly, I don't think of him as a healer. And I think you're just going to see sub Red Mage more than sub White Mage. And I think if you're sub White Mage, this is literally the situation I could see happening. There's an enemy, and you're right there, and you could Drain Evoke them, right? You could Drain Evoke them, kill the enemy, and heal yourself. Or you could Curata yourself, and your AI is going to be like, it's time for your Curata, right? Who needs Drain Evoke? We're just going to Curata, and then your Howlet gets one shot the next turn. So I would just be aware of that. He doesn't get full life as White Mage sub, so that's another kind of bummer. But, you know, maybe you want to run, I don't know, maybe you want to run like Yerma in your composition, and maybe you're going to go for like a Brawling Wind comp. In that case, maybe you do. I don't know. In terms of equipment, we do have Adelard Sword, Vermilion Sword for Magic Attack plus 15. Could be pretty good if you're running Jamming Thrust, or if you're planning on doing sort of like Drain Evoke into Jamming Thrust. But honestly, Jamming Thrust, Aurora, and Drain Evoke are the only attacks that are really modified by Magic Attack in his arsenal. So Vermilion Sword is actually going to pair in comparison to even potentially a Sleep Sword for most of his builds, and compared to Lohengrin, is terrible. I would say Lohengrin probably out damages everything. Otherwise, if you're going for anything, if you're going for a Jamming Thrust build with Sub Red Mage, you're going to want the Vermilion Sword. If you're going for any other build, you probably want a Magic version Nagarok or a Magic version Sleep Sword. No matter what, though, the Lohengrin event is coming out. It's not hard to get. Max this sucker out. Even if you don't have Howlet, max this out. Other than that, I think some TMR on him would be wonderful that will give him a magic buff, like Little Leela's TMR, or even his own TMR, just to let him survive a little bit more. Alexandrite Ring I could see placed on him, Platinum Robe. Again, honestly, I don't think the armor or the accessories are going to make a huge difference for him. Where he really is going to require is a TMR and some type of competent weapon. In terms of Espers, Diablos, Rama, Shiva, the classic plus magic Espers. However, you do need to be careful, right? Because a lot of those Espers have magic attack up, and what you need is magic percentage up, right? Or slash attack up. So there may be a situation where you have an Esper with magic plus magic percent and slash attack up. That would be the ideal situation. When Igaion comes out in the next couple of weeks, he is going to be a perfect Esper for Howlet, and I would definitely recommend putting him on Howlet because he's going to be absolutely incredible. In terms of VC cards, you're running into the same trap, right? There's a couple things you want to look for. Magic up percent, wind up percent, and for Exorcist card, if you do have the Exorcist card, I do believe the slash penetration will help you as well. Slash attack up modification, those are kind of the 4 mods that you're looking for his ability. It's true if you do sub Red Mage and you're going exclusively for a Drain Evoke and Jamming Thrust build, you could do a card like Trousseau as well. I didn't want to put that on here because I didn't want people to get confused, because even I get confused and I mix up my words all the fucking time whenever I'm talking about magic attack, magic, all the right mod. I mean, y'all know what I'm fucking talking about. Some other options, if you don't have any of the UR cards, could use Secret Orders for slash attack up. You could use Greetings from Afar for magic up as well as magic on the bestowed unit. Unreaching Affection for wind up. You could use the Mind Flayer card for magic up. One important note here as well. I do have Moraga, I do have Secret Orders here as cards. When you're putting these cards in your composition, they should not be on Howlet because they have very low base magic on the cards themselves. You should be putting a high base magic card on Howlet. That would be like Mind Flayer, like Rama, even Greetings from Afar. You should definitely be looking at the base stats of your card before you put them on your unit. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you guys are super excited for the next 2 videos that I'm going to release today, featuring both of the MR units that you all are eagerly awaiting for. And do remember, if you guys are planning on buying Visior, please use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins, or go to dig.gs/offer to get your special discount code for Amazon coins. And finally, make sure you come check out our Discord and say hi to me. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.